You see black men dating white women all the time. You don't see white men dating black women all the time. So
Black men dating white women.
And why is that?
To be honest, I'm not really quite sure. That's just what
I feel like they might be intimidated by us black women, so they might do another race.
I don't see myself dating a white guy. Nothing against his race.
So is that how you took that?
Yeah, I took it like she was saying that black men be intimidated by black women, so they choose to date outside their race.
Yeah.
That's how y'all took it. Okay.
That's exactly what she said.
Okay. Well, let's talk about that then. So what's your thoughts about black men being intimidated by black women?
I don't think it's necessarily, an intimidation.
I
I think white people in general are.
Somebody has some background noise going on. Charlotte, I think that's you. Yeah. Go ahead, Miranda.
Yeah, I don't really think it's they're intimidated. I think white women, which I don't want nobody to come for me, but white women just really they're less I guess aggressive with a lot of certain things. White people have a different demeanor than black women, and I think sometimes opposites can attract where you have a black man and a white woman. I think that could just really be just the differences in maybe the demeanor that we carry versus how they carry themselves. So I don't really think it's anything like a specific intimidation, because we can be a lot when it comes to relationships, just in general. I like dating black men. I've dated plenty black men. So white men and whatnot. So there's definitely a difference in temperament, demeanor, and just the entire experience itself.
Yeah.
More, you got your seatbelt on?
I got my roller coaster strap on. I'm ready.
All right, because I'm driving. I think it's interesting. It's interesting when I hear our women, black women in particular, speak about what white women do. It's interesting because they name all the things that they're supposed to do, as if what they're naming they're not supposed to do themselves. Like you named that they're less aggressive. Shouldn't black women be less aggressive?
I'm not saying that we should be. I'm just saying that that's a difference in the culture itself. Black, you can look at a white man and put a black man beside him. They're not going to respond the same in terms of demeanor and temperament. Now, I say, yeah, we can be a lot like us colored people on the panel. We already know what's up. We know we can be a lot in general. Like, even when we just getting together on a friendly basis, y'all know how we like to rock out and just be wild with it. And that's just the differences with black people and white people in general. So we could we tone it down? Maybe, but I wouldn't say that we we all out aggressive and we just crazy. But just even me myself, I have a pretty strong personality. I know I can tone it down sometimes.
What do you think? I was just gonna ask, what do you guys think that like the difference is to be able to make that change to actually have more success? What are they supposedly doing? I know 2-parent household is higher, right?
Yeah.
And we know now we all know don't white people so I love white people, but we know blacks and whites and how they are. White people household, that dad can be a whole drunk or the mother can be a drunk and they still together. But in a black house, you ask them what happened with your ex? Well, he was a drunk, so I had to take charge and lead. Like, well, why do we have a kid then? Like, we should try to work this thing out and figure it out. Unless the abuse come in, because the alcohol is just abuse to yourself. But if once the abuse come in, that's when you guys draw a fine on it. But what are they doing though?
But
I can't say like.
So hold on. I wanted to ask Lindsay. Lindsay, from your perspective, this sounds crazy. I'll put it right at Lindsay.
We love you, Lindsay.
When from your perspective, right? As far as first of all, do you date black men, white men? Like, what's your preference in your dating options?
I feel like I've dated more of outside of my culture. I tend to date either like Black or Hispanic.
Okay.
But that's, I don't know. My preference is weird. Like, I'm very athletic, so I'm very attracted to athletic people. And like, I prefer playing basketball, and you just don't see a lot of white guys out there, you know, playing basketball on a Sunday. But I mean, honestly, I can't really even speak to success because I haven't been super successful in dating in general. I am not so much a confrontational person. But as far as like culture wise, like it's fun. Like, yes, it's louder. Yes, you guys like to throw down. Like where I come from, like it's not like boring over
Like
here.
it's very white bread.
It is, and like I don't know. It's just very welcoming too. Like I don't know. I don't like being judged. I don't like, you know. It's just weird. So like anytime that I've come into like a different family than mine, like they're just super welcoming, and like granted the relationships I've had have not been successful. But I mean, I don't care.
So to ask you that question, why do you feel like your relationships haven't been successful with Black men?
Keep it real, Leslie.
I don't know. So I was in a relationship for a really long time with a Black man, and he just ended up being a cheater, like cheated on me a lot. And I didn't know.
Hold up, Charlotte, don't shake your head on that. Charlotte, like, that's what we do.
Like I've been, again, every relationship I've been in, I think maybe except for one person has cheated on me. So like, but I was with that person for 7 years. And so like, I felt like that was gonna, you know, my end goal was marriage. Thankfully that wasn't what came to be. But I mean, as far as like family, like we could have open conversations, like, you know, the cookouts were fun. Like,
You got invited.
I know.
She was invited to the cookout, boy.
Okay, Lindsay.
I can make a good cheesecake now. Like I can make a good cheesecake. But
what their mac and cheese do? No,
yes, I refuse to eat any restaurant mac and cheese. It does not compare to mine. But I don't know. Like I'm such a like everybody is different. Like people are people. I don't look at their skin color. Like I've had white people treat me just as bad as Black people have treated me, and like I just come from that gray area. I feel like as long as you're a good person, like that's what I'm really intrigued and interested in. Like I really love learning from people too. So like anything outside of my culture, like I love learning about it, whether it's like food, like religious beliefs. I mean, even when it comes down to like mechanics, like I just like to learn. And so if I feel like I can't learn anything from you, I'm like to the next one.
Lindsay, did you grow up in a 2-parent household?
I did, and to be honest, you know, speaking on the whole, like being an alcoholic and like staying, like my family behind closed doors was not one that I would want to put my children through. So like we were the average like white collar family, like both parents working in a relationship together, but the amount of arguing and just unhealthy, toxic examples that I have.
Well, you're looking at it, Lindsay, you're looking at it through a child's lens, but I want to ask you this question. What about your ex's parents? Were they together? Or was it just mama?
They were not, but it was a tragic situation as to why they weren't together. He passed away like early in their childhood. So, and then just like thinking on previous relationships, like I would say it's like about a half and half. Like some parents were still together, some parents weren't. But yeah.
Lindsay, you know, one of the biggest indicators of men who hate women are men that are cheaters. It doesn't matter what type of relationship dynamic you are in. That's a clear sign of men who resent their mothers when they cheat. They don't like women.
So I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that one.
I can't co-sign that one.
I can't
Cheating men.
co-sign that one. Cheating men, I would
mean-
say cheating men do not hate
I
women.
don't.
Nah.
Yeah,
They
I don't
just
think
cheat
they
because
Men
they.
cheat for a lot of different reasons.
I would say
Yeah,
the
I don't
one
think it's
that
the
I
hate.
was with for a long time that cheated on me a lot, like he was kind of like overly obsessed with his mom, because like that was the one person that was like with him through and through. Like
I was gonna say, so a lot of times it's the opposite. It's that they have an unhealthy dynamic with
Might
their
have
mom.
right. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
And
Not
they,
hate
and no,
women, but
and
might
no
have an
woman can,
unhealthy.
so what ends up happening is like no woman can measure up to the level of attention,
Mother,
love,
right.
and all that stuff and adoration that your mom gave you. And so it's the 80-20 rule. You're not gonna find that in one person. No one person can give you that. Like
Right.
your mama's gonna get. So you end up trying to find it from like every woman that you meet or whatever, where you just you become that's I do believe that there are men on the other side of the spectrum that do cheat because they hate women, but I don't think that that's like the single answer.
Yeah. Hold on, we got another super chat. We got another super. Go ahead and read that.
Yeah. So Leon said, I think he's talking about you, Lindsay. He said, she said the loud part aloud. We are for the thrill and excitement, but make no mistake, white women always know who to go to for status, and it's not us. No interracial relationship for me. Okay.
We're gonna give this.
Well,
And he got to put hashtag Dr. Umar Johnson.
Oh God, Dr. Umar, I can't.
Now I'm dealing with now I've been with but I've dated black and white and really everything in between. So I'll say this in my experience. I'm married to a black woman. I've dated both types of white women too. So like the white woman the white woman that grew up around all black people, and I grew up and I've dated the white girl, like the Jennifer Aniston white girl. And in both instances, I have noticed that while white women, in my opinion, in my experience, seem to be way more motivated to please their man. Like what I mean by please their man is like when I was dating one white girl, she didn't really cook like that before me, but she started making certain things. She started trying to start really, really cooking well. And then that's cooking is one thing that's pretty normal. But like even down to the fact that I remember one time I said that I missed the smell of cocoa butter in motions on a black woman or something like that, just like in jest. And she started buying cocoa butter all the time after that. Lathering herself up in cocoa butter because I like cocoa butter. And I mean and if you take that and you blow it up across our relationship, she was like that with everything. She was very congenial. More so than any black woman I've ever dated. And the same thing with the other white girl too. But what I will say though, on the flip side, is that as a black man, I got tired of having to explain certain shit. You know what I'm saying? I got tired of having to, because I love black women. I love my mama. I love my daughters. I love my, you know what I'm saying? I have so many things about black women that I just really love. And I felt like I couldn't really express that without making her feel away. You know what I'm saying? So
Mason, I got a question. So you're married, you're white, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel like you may have found, do you feel like since you got married, the woman that you married is willing to do all of the things that you want, that you said that you couldn't find prior to dating black women, but you found it in white women?
I do, but I feel like black women in a lot of different ways, they carry a lot of generational trauma. And I feel like for example, a lot of our women don't get taught how to treat their man. And that's because their mom didn't necessarily have that, because their dad wasn't necessarily in the house, or if he was in the house, they didn't have the healthiest relationship. So the dynamic is unhealthy from jump. So they don't really know how to pass down healthy relationships. Same thing on the other side. I grew up in a single parent household. My dad was in my life and everything, but knowing what a healthy marriage looks like, or even having any indication of what the day-to-day operation of a two-parent household looks like, You know what I'm saying? You kind of making that up as you go along. So I think both of us, I think the black man and the black woman are experiencing or working their way through a little bit of PTSD when it comes to that. And I think that's one of the reasons why our relationship is so fractured at the moment.
Push and pull, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I want to ask though is do you think them not learning from their parents a result of their parents seeing their parents say, you know, I don't want to be like that, or you know, my mom, this would happen to my mom, so I'm not gonna let that happen to me or my daughter. So I'm gonna have to teach my daughter to be independent, or don't need to do for this or this, that, and the other. And I say that because I dated a black girl, but she was from Canada, and the way she treated me was a lot different than the black girls I had in America, which goes back to the passport thing, which is why a lot of guys are going out of the country to find black women because they love black women, but they're going out of the country to find them because they're getting that old school traditional what they're looking for. When the women sometimes in the United States are like, well, I don't want to be like my grandmother because my grandfather cheated on her and had a whole family across town, and I'm not going to live like that. So could that be the reason why they're? Because like I said, girls from Canada is a lot different, and I've dated a girl who was from a fractured family household where dad had multiple wives and multiple kids, and she's the bee's knees as opposed to some of the women I've dated that are from the United States.
I would say, ladies, chime in. How do you feel? Why do you feel like what he just said is the thing in America?
Yo, I'm curious to know what Kyron thinks about this because, yeah, I want to know what my brother thinks about this particular topic right here with the differences.
Well, hold on one second. Before you answer, Kyron, give me 1 second. Miranda, you was about to say something?
I was just gonna say that. Oh Lord, my bad. I don't know. I mean, I guess I don't know. I guess I'm kind of like iffy on both sides. But me personally, I like dating white men because I think in general, white people are more outgoing in general, right? They be doing all these different activities, and I'm a very active person. I'm athletic. I like to keep things exciting. I like.
Well, that's the opposite of Lindsay. Lindsay said that white men are not active at all.
Well, she said they're not on the basketball court.
They go to clubs.
All just the particular activities that I do.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah, they're not.
Like, just sit. All of them look like Peter
guys
Griffin. Okay, they just sitting on the couch.
Yeah, no, not a Peter Griffin. No, definitely not a Peter Griffin. But as far as just the point I'm trying to make is y'all know how white people be doing all them activities and stuff like that, horseback riding or snowboarding or bungee jumping. Like I went skydiving. It wasn't white inspired.
I told you, T. That's my fault.
Huh?
That's your boo.
I didn't hear what he said.
We going axe throwing. Come on, Moore. Come to Dallas. We going axe throwing. Let's do it. Let's do it.
You'll be ready to send me on my way, husband.
Zip lining. Zip lining. We going zip lining. Indoor.
I
have trying to make you a wife.
I have skydived.
She's gonna have to be the third one though, because I already got.
I've skydived twice, 13,000 feet. So, but anyways, but the point I'm trying to make is I like dating white men in that aspect, and I also think, just to get a little bit more controversial, I do think you don't have to have. I don't know if other black women have experienced this, but you don't really have to fight for that. Like sometimes I feel like black men try to prove like like that they're dominant, that I'm the one that's leading. I feel like a lot of them fight for that position when they get in relationships. And you don't even have those same conversations like with white men when you get with them. I feel like they already know their role as far as like leadership, and you don't really have bumping heads when it comes to who's doing what or how he's supposed to act. But I think white men are fun. They be fun. White people are fun.